Video on how to do inverse sine function or inverse trig function, on your calculator. So the original problem is the sine of theta equals negative 0.9. Negative 0.9 is not a special ratio, so we got to use our calculators. So we do theta equals inverse sine of negative 0.9, which we did over here on our calculator. My calculator is in degree mode, so therefore it gave me an answer in degrees, negative 64 degrees, which we know is in about quadrant 4 down here. But to convert that to radians, we multiply by pi, divide by 180, so we get negative 1.12. We'll say radians will round to the nearest tenth. So if we come over here, we just got an answer in quadrant 4, oh boy, this is going to be terrible, of negative 1.12 radians. However, the directions for these types of problems, they solve for theta between 0 and 2 pi. That angle right now is backwards. That is not between 0 and 2 pi, so that's not even an answer. So the calculator, remember, can only give you one answer when it does an inverse function, because function is one number in, one number out. It's giving us an answer in quadrant 4 backwards. However, the directions say you need to give us answers between 0 and 2 pi. So now we need to use our brain. How can we take this reference angle of negative 1.12 and move it to the correct quadrants where sine is negative? Well, if all students take calculus, sine is negative in this quadrant as well, and in quadrant 4. So we're like, well, what about this negative 1.12? But we have to go a positive direction around. So we have to go this way around and get this angle, and then we have to go this way around and get this angle. So how are we going to get those two angles? Well, we know this reference angle still has to be 1.12 over here. So all we want to do, and we know this is pi radians right here, so we need to take pi and add 1.12. So if we come over to our calculator and just take pi plus 1.12, I don't know why I just did it. I'll delete there, but we take pi, sorry, pi plus 1.12, because we're 1.120 beyond pi. So that's one of the answers. So negative 1.12 isn't even an answer, but we just got 4.26, we'll say, radians. That's one answer for theta. And the other answer is this one, but we can't come backwards. So we got to go all the way around to here. Well, if this is 2 pi, we're a little bit short of getting all the way to 2 pi. So now we're going to take 2 pi minus the 1.12. So we'll come over here and do 2 pi minus the 1.12. And that will give us this other answer of 5.16 if we round to 2 decimal places. So our answers are 5.16 radians, or approximately 5.16 radians, and 4.26 radians is the answer to theta. So 4.26 and 5. So even the calculator gave us the negative 1.12, but that's not in the range of acceptable answers for this problem, because this problem says give us answers between 0 and 2 pi. So we took that answer and converted it to two answers that are between 0 and 2 pi. That's one way to do the problem. I'll show you another way here in a second of how to do these types of problems of inverse trig functions using your calculator.